Hey everybody, Ben Chenault here with the Mortgage Bank branch of Fairway Independent Mortgage. So today we're going to talk about just simply getting pre-qualified and when should you do it. And no, I'm not just talking about our first-time homebuyer clients. I'm talking to everybody who thinks they may buy a house sometime soon. Lots of confusion on certain products, certain guidelines. You need to go ahead and get them out of the way. But before I dive into just a couple of the frequently asked questions, I wanted to give you three stories, okay? So, first story, this was a first-time home buyer, and they've been doing, I call them do-it-yourselfers, okay? It's okay, but you got to make sure you do it right. These people were buying a new construction home. It was their first house. They'd been doing online credit monitoring, so they felt like their credit scores were fine. They felt like they understood the mortgage process. And they waited almost till the time that the house was complete. They'd already, they loved the neighborhood. They'd already picked out colors. And the house was probably 35 or 40 days from being ready when they called us. We had to give them the bad news that your credit wasn't up here, it was really here, and that's too low to get in any of the loan programs that they needed. So that was terrible news to have to give somebody. Eventually we got them done about 6 months later. It was a different house, so it ended well, but that's something that could have been avoided. The second example I'm going to give you is actually on a friend of mine, and no, I'm not going to mention your name, but they were buying about a $850,000, somewhere between $850,000 and $900,000 home. Everything on the surface looks great. I mean, they make good money. They have plenty of money to put down. They were planning on putting down 20%. Income, assets, everything looks good on the surface. But what they didn't know was about 30 days prior to us checking their credit scores, somebody had filed a medical collection on them. They had no idea. They had no notice. They had no idea. So when you're doing a jumbo loan, there's certain credit requirements. They really want to see credit scores above a certain limit. And now my friends and clients didn't have it. So we still were able to get really creative. We got the loan done for them, but it was not pretty. And what I mean by not pretty, they had to put more money down. Payments were a lot higher than they needed to be because the interest rate was a lot higher. They were very limited, and we were very limited in what options they had, but they had no choice. They had already sold their house and they weren't going to go rent. They didn't want to be homeless. So we had to we had to make it work. So once again, could have been avoided, or maybe not avoided, but maybe they would have purchased a smaller home, or just being prepared for it would have made things a lot better. Third example I was going to give you. Great clients of ours, already been through the process a bunch, assumed no problem because they understood it. Been with the same employer for quite some time, but recently their employer changed how they're paying them. And he's actually going to be making more money, and common sense tells us shouldn't have any problem. But how they changed his pay structure was a big problem with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all the powers that be. And we had to wait until that calendar year was up for them to go file a tax return. They'd already been out looking at houses when they called us, so they kind of wasted all their time, wasted the realtor's time, and it was a little embarrassing for them because I mean these are not destitute people. These are people that have great incomes. They got money to put down, but one little thing, prevented them from qualifying right now and made us wait until the next calendar year. But I'll tell you all that to say, a lot of these things are avoidable. And common sense just does not always apply in this industry. Okay, so that's the first thing I got to tell you. Next thing is, when should I get pre-qualified? And I would say, anytime you think about buying a house, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's next year, go ahead and do it now. If there's any hurdles we need to look at, it's much easier to do it over time than to try to do it overnight, which is unfortunately what a lot of people have to do. So I tell everybody, do it now, whether it's tomorrow or a year from now. The next question people ask is, well, how long does that last, a pre-approval? Well, it really technically only lasts 90 days. However, as long as nothing changes in your credit profile, or you don't start making less money, or you don't go out and get, more debts, then it still should be the same, okay? All we'll have to do is update your information at that later time. But it's better to go ahead and let us look at it and see if there's any potential speed bumps up ahead. And let's go ahead and address them. A lot easier to address them, and this home buying process should be fun. And addressing them during the home buying process makes it not fun. So we want to have fun. Next thing is, what's it cost? Doesn't cost anything. We pay for the credit reports. I mean, we put the time in with the clients. We will help you figure out what your options are. We're kind of your consultant on the process, but it doesn't cost you anything. So why would we do this? Well, we don't like telling people they don't qualify. I mean, that's a terrible phone call. We like to help people get all their finances in order so that when they're ready, they feel comfortable, they feel confident, they know what they're doing, and it's a smooth sailing. We like to have a fun loan process, and we cannot have a fun loan process if we're dealing with surprises, if we're telling people things they really don't want to hear. So we like to do all this, and we don't even charge you for it. Okay, we do want you coming back to us when you're ready. Hopefully that will happen. But next question. Isn't all this stuff online? Well, yeah, kind of. Well, some of it's wrong, some of it's right. The problem with getting all the info online is it's so generic. There's no way that you can itemize all the caveats. If this, then that. And everybody is different. Your income's different than somebody next to you. Your credit scores are different. Your down payment's different. Everything is different for each specific person. So, although some of the stuff online is great, talk to us and make sure that it applies specifically to you. And that way, if we need to make any adjustments, we got plenty of time to do it, okay? It's much better to do it before you've sold your home trying to buy the next one, or it's much better to do it before you got a contract on another house. Another thing I wanted to point out, tax returns. You can have great income, but they are looking at tax returns a little differently, and tax returns are going to be needed if any of your income, or if more than 25% of your income comes from commissions, bonuses. They're going to need to see tax returns, and that can greatly affect what we qualify for. So we like to look at those up front. If there's going to be issues, let's address them. Let's figure them out. At the end of the day, the point is, we need to have fun during this process. The best way to do it is go ahead and get all the info up front, get pre-qualified, ASAP if you're thinking about buying a house in the next year, and let's look at it, get you ready, and that's pretty much it. So any questions, feel free to call me, call anybody on my team. Go to benchenault.com. You can sign up there for our newsletter, or you can download the mobile app. That mobile app is great. I mean, you can do mortgage calculations. You can search for homes. You can even apply online. It takes you 5 minutes on that mobile app. Another thing, hey, if you need a good realtor, we work with the best in Birmingham, so we'll be happy to set you up with a good realtor whenever you're ready. But connect with us however you feel comfortable, and raise your hand when you're ready, and we're here to help, okay? Phone number also is 205-986-4220. Thanks a lot.